Hello, Phil. Hello, Ivy.
Hey, John. Hey, Ivy.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Cool. How's your hip feeling?
What hip?
Good for you. Either, either yeah, so that's great news. You're walking around and all that.
Hello?
Yeah, yep.
Yep, finally got it. Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
guys.
Howdy, Ivy.
So, Ivy, I saw your note that you're only available for 2:30, so we'll move things around so we cover your stuff first on the movie stuff. Um,
Well, on the movie, oh, wait, shall we wait for everyone else?
yeah, yeah.
I kind of, we talked about kind of pause until PV Palooza, right? Because I really haven't moved forward on anything until, and I don't plan to until June 1st, and then we're looking at a date for September.
Yeah, so according to my notes from the last meeting, we were gonna push it to September, which sounds good to
Yeah,
me. Yeah. So maybe not much of an update at all, which is fine.
but I am dialing in to support, to make sure we have a quorum so we can, because it seems like a lot of people can't dial
Okay, great.
in. Moral support.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, yeah, thanks. Unfortunately, I don't have a budget ready, like I thought I would, but at the same time, I haven't had any email from the town asking for a budget. Um, our our next meeting is, oh, well, we should be sending in a budget. Um,
Yeah.
well, then what I'll do is open the budget from last year and we'll wing it. Uh,
You know, while we wait for everyone to dial in, I just want to say we have the best committee. When we went to our town volunteer mixer,
yeah,
I know like you went. It's just all the other committees are a little bit of tense. All of them
interesting.
are connected to either directly or indirectly to the housing issue, and it's just whereas we're just the hip kids in the room. Everybody wants to know what we're doing, and we're making music, we're having fun. So this is a good community to be on.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that we don't have to deal with all that stuff.
Oh gosh, I know. We're probably in
Stuff.
denial, but it's fine.
Well, what's the other thing, it's not that we're separate from it though, because in a sense we're kind of the antidote to the stress that oh, maybe I actually did start a workshop.
Well,
Yeah, in a sense, we help
yeah,
provide the connective tissue in the town through music, that helps
that's
kind of
that's
heal.
exactly it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
I think the way I
yeah. Go ahead.
sometimes hear all the other communities and realize how different people are because people are talking about differences. Whereas on our community is how much we have in common and how much we want to come in and work on the same thing together. And that's really what's great about it. I think that's the essentially a sense of relief that you're referring to earlier. You're like, oh, okay, we're really not that different at the end of the day. For our interests, what really makes us happy are these things that we all care about this.
Yeah. Um, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and text out to the. Okay, still just the three of us. I'm gonna go ahead and text out to the greater team.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, looks like some people don't have the link. And That must be Wesley.
Do.
Hi, Wesley.
Hi. I couldn't figure out how to do this on my computer. So we're on my phone.
Okay, so I've sent out a link. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk about what we're going to skip until we can get a quorum. So bear with me while I figure out how best to do that. So that is the agenda. And this is the proposed budget. Okay. So let's start with this, and then I will share my screen. Okay, we can't really call the meeting to order because there's no meeting to call to order. You know what? Maybe I'll try and make a few phone calls to those who said that they were going to be able to make it. Oh, Jerry. Oh, actually, no, there's nobody. Everybody who said they could make it is here. It sounds like Mimi said she was at school, which I don't understand because she texted at just after 1 p.m. today, and today it's a 2 p.m. meeting. I don't think she checked her email or her text.
I think she was
Uh,
expecting a 1 p.m. meeting and
In person.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we'll just move forward. We're not Brown Act, so I guess it's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and get started. And so last time we did not let's see. There are 8 people in the committee, and we have 4 people here. But Sue said she'd be able to call in later. So let's go ahead and, oh, sorry, Jerry said she'd be able to call in later. So let's wait for Jerry before we approve the minutes. We have actually 2 months worth of minutes to approve because last month enough people to meet a quorum didn't get here in time for approving the minutes. So we didn't vote on the minutes. And then the month before, we actually didn't have a quorum, so we didn't approve those minutes either. So there's 2 months of minutes to approve. We're going to wait for those until Jerry calls in. And in the meantime, what we'll do is focus on, well, first of all, let's call the meeting to order. It is currently 5:07 p.m. Is there anybody who has the ability to take notes? Because unfortunately, even though there's an AI turned on, I wasn't able to get the town to actually send me the appropriate file that contains the minutes, the AI processed minutes. So instead, I just had to go with a raw transcript, which was pretty rough to get through, especially when it's like this and the meeting doesn't get started for a while. It's very hard to go through the minutes. So I basically have to listen to the entire meeting to find the good stuff, and it takes forever to write these up. So Wesley, it looked like, oh, Wesley dropped off. No, Wesley's there.
I'm here.
Wesley, do you have a pad and paper or Phil?
Yeah, let me find it.
Okay.
Take notes with.
Okay, that would be extremely helpful.
I've just turned on captions. I don't know if we'll be able to record them at the end of the meeting. I don't see a save captions button.
Okay. Yeah, my experience with those automated tools is definitely far from ideal. So, we'll skip the approval for me of the minutes until Jerry gets here, but when Jerry gets here, we will definitely prioritize that because we've got 2 months of minutes stacked up. The very first thing on new business is budget review. Oh, actually, we skipped over oral communications. Anything that we want to talk about that's not on the agenda?
I just, yeah, just that
Oh.
I'd let everybody know, this is Wesley, that the art club got approved finally.
Oh,
And
what?
so the first Monday of every month from 5:30 to 9, we've got the Alder Room. And I'll put an email together or a flyer to send out to the community, but it's a free event, just created to create community and to spread art, and I don't know, just do some art for the sake of doing art. So that's going to be starting this next month.
Thank you. I don't know why that's not on the agenda, but if you could make a note of making sure it makes it onto the agenda for next time so that we can get some updates on that. And congratulations, Wesley. I saw the email from Carrie, so good job on breaking through that one.
Yeah, thanks.
So anything else on the art club? There's
Nope.
nothing, yeah,
Nope.
there's no need to vote on anything, right? We already voted on it and it's all good.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to talk about is at the end, although I can only stay till probably 2:30. So maybe we
Okay.
want to talk about the Christmas fair sooner.
Yeah, well, let's start with oh, he's Jerry, but we lost Ivy. I thought Ivy said she could stay until 2:30. Let me see if I can call Ivy. I think your timing is till 2:45. Is that right, Wesley?
Yeah, but I need to go down there and get them. So probably 2:30 or maybe 2:40.
Okay. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, John.
We had Ivy on for a minute, and that would be a quorum, but she disappeared, so now we're back down to no quorum. But if we could get Ivy back, we'd have a quorum.
Yeah, I read the minutes and they are correct,
Yeah, but we can't
but we
approve them.
can't vote without a quorum.
Yeah, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and move through the agenda items, and I think we're gonna need to look at the team and find some new team members, and also I think we're going to want to make sure that folks who are on the committee, like we just have kind of an ongoing problem of having trouble meeting quorum, and that just makes it hard for all of us. It's not fair for those of us who do show up. So I think we need to ask people to, sort of have a certain commitment to making the quorum. There's obviously things that come up, but when it's a pattern, we need to probably ask the person to make room for someone who can make more of the meetings, because it's really hard. And the challenge I had on making these minutes, it was really actually pretty hard making the minutes because they were so disjointed because of the fact that we had to bounce around because we didn't have a quorum. Similar to what's happening now. So we can't approve the minutes as soon as, if Ivy dials back in, we will skip to approval of minutes. And in the meanwhile, we're going to skip to budget review. And then we're going to do Christmas fair because Wesley's here. And then we'll do the other updates. So let's go to the budget worksheet. I like to keep prior year budgets in here, so this is the 23. Sorry. This is the 24-25 proposed budget. So in other words, last year, even though this says 24-25, it looks like I went ahead and made a copy of it for 24-25, and I haven't yet gotten to actually making any changes. So basically, the formatting of this column would move to here, and future year budgets would move to here. And it looks like I went ahead and projected what would be the next year budget. So let me talk about something that we're going to have to take care of this year. So there's this use it or lose it concept with committee budgets, where if there's any funds left over at the end of the year, you don't get those funds. However, you can always make a budget for the following year that increases the funding. So there's no real need. I had this impression that we had to spend every last dollar or we'd sort of be losing it. But it's not really that way. And the reason that I was concerned about losing the money is that in the agreements that we put together for PV Palooza in 2022, when we had a fundraising overage, those fundraising agreements had a clause in them that said any leftover funds will be used for future music events in Portola Valley. And again, that was when PV Palooza was part of the CAC. And then we had that pretty significant carryover. So we spent a good hunk of it in 2020, in the subsequent fiscal year, but not all of it. And then we find ourselves with a budget excess this year as well. We've got, thousands of dollars to burn through. And so I was planning on paying some down payments on some of the bands, but the town really pushed back on that. And then I had a conversation with Carrie, and it turns out it doesn't really matter. We can have funds that are not spent at the end of the year, and we can budget whatever we want that makes sense for the town in the following year. And they would very much support the idea of spending a little more next year in order to get back on schedule, because last year we paid down payments for some of the bands in the previous fiscal year, and they don't want to do that anymore. It's too complicated to have a single invoice split and a single contract split across fiscal years, which I get. So basically, we're going to leave some money on the table. I don't remember how much we're going to leave on the table, but what we're going to do is basically increase the budget in the following years so that basically we can pay for all three of the summer concert series with the audio and everything in the same fiscal year, because they are in the same fiscal year. They're all in July, August, and September, as are the audio. So there's no down payment aspect anymore. They don't want to split any more events over a fiscal year. So summer concert series is going to be in the same fiscal year. So with that said, I'm not going to do the math here live, but basically I'm going to move money around so that we put all the events for summer concert series in the same fiscal year for next year. So that's going to be here. I can take care of that. I don't have any plans to increase. Although, oh yes, I do have plans to increase, because the bill for the audio is going to be about $500 higher this year than normal, because the complexity of one of the bands, what's it called? Freddie Clark Band, Freddie Clark and Wobbly World. They've got a bunch of horns. I think they've got a total of maybe 9 musicians. And lots of percussion and horns and all that stuff. So the miking and the number of, it's a lot more complicated. So he had to jack his price up by like $500, and it just wasn't in the budget. So I'll take care of all the putting together the budget for the next year on that. And then let's look at what else we need. So I'm going to skip off on PV Palooza thing, I don't know if we're gonna be we would not be donating to PV Palooza anymore, so that's gonna be zero. That won't, if it comes from anywhere, it won't come from the CAC anymore. So we'll zero that out, or I'll confirm that, but I think we'll zero that out. So I'm gonna see comment. New comment. This come from the CAC budget. All right, because they told me that it wouldn't, but I just want to confirm it. Because I do think that it's good. Wait, what just happened? Where's my comment? Anyway, I'll check that with the town. So I'll take care of that part of the budget. And then what do we want to do? All this I have to clear up. So let me actually get rid of these. Oh no, I want to keep those there so I can look at the old budgets. Okay, so what do we want to do about we had $750 for food and beverage for events other than PV Palooza and concert series. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna put in here the art club.
Mm-hmm.
Art club. And Christmas fair. Is there already a Christmas fair somewhere? Oh no, holiday fair up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start with art club. Do we need
Okay.
supplies or anything like that?
Nope, no supplies needed. It's a potluck. I just need to make a flyer for it and post it on the forum and put it, I'd like for somebody to, once I get it, maybe post it in the newsletter, like if PV has a newsletter that they put out, put it in there, maybe put it on their website, just announce it so that people know about it. And it's just going to be an ongoing thing.
So it might be like an 8.5 by 11 type flyer or a big one like PV Palooza or.
No, just a one page, like an 8.5 by 11. And I'll maybe once I get the flyer, I'll make one and print it and put it, if they have a poster board or what, or a board down at the town center to post stuff on.
Yeah, so I'll just put 150 in here for printing of 8.5 by 11s.
Okay, that's probably way too much, but
All right.
that's
And then holiday fair at Windmill. How much do you think that would be?
so. Did you read Carrie's email yesterday?
Oh, no. What did she say?
I forwarded it to you.
Oh,
She basically said that she doesn't think that we should try and plan a holiday event, and that she said that trying to plan a holiday event off-site, the insurance is too expensive, although she didn't say any numbers. But she said that in the past, when she first got on the committee, they tried to do holiday events that weren't very successful. And so she really discouraged doing a holiday event. And she said, if we want to do it, that we need to do it outside at the town center, and that we could talk in person or talk live about that. But I don't really think doing it outside
so
on is a good idea.
I'm going to pause you right there and ask for Jerry to make a comment. Because
Yes.
the art fair preceded my time. Sorry, the holiday fair preceded my time, preceded Phil's time, preceded your time, Wesley. But
Yeah.
Jerry was here, and I'm wondering if I mean, I know that from the very beginning of me joining the Cultural Arts Committee, we've been trying to get a holiday fair back on the books because everybody said it was so great, and I can't imagine that they were hallucinating. So I'm trying to understand what the disconnect between what the other committee members said, who were enthusiastic about a new event, versus what Carrie is saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've just had a lot of pushback from her.
there's
pretty much.
Jerry. There's Jerry. So Jerry, why would Carrie have the impression that the Christmas fair, the holiday fair, was not successful?
There is no evidence to show that the holiday fair was ever not successful. It was quite successful, well attended. We had many artisans and it varied with from all kinds of art to people making their homemade jams and so forth. And it was crowded always at the Woodside Priory. The only reason we stopped is Jane Wilson and Cynthia Cerncudi. I know Cynthia had her babies and it was just too hard and no one stepped up. We were enthusiastic about keeping it going and we tried to merge with Woodside and they wanted to keep our fairs separate. And so we didn't do it and then COVID hit and
Oh.
now we want to do it. But we have not been in the schoolhouse for years. And the
Okay.
reason we outgrew the schoolhouse, that's why we moved to the Priory and we did get insurance to have it off-site. That's all I. Mhm.
Okay, so I just reread the email and it doesn't say anything about the event not being a success. It just simply says that committees don't do offsite events because the cost for the insurance for offsite events is really high.
That is true. That's the one thing I brought up 2 months or 3 months ago in our meetings is that the insurance is the hardest. And I think we looked up the insurance company that we used.
Mhm.
And but I know the town always frowns upon, when anything that requires insurance off of the campus.
Right.
Well, so basically it says that and all the vendors will be required to get their own insurance. Who is
Yeah.
saying, right, who is stipulating that all the vendors, is it the venue?
No, it's not. It's just saying that we need to have event insurance at
Okay.
Windmill.
At Windmill. Okay, so Windmill is not stipulating that the vendors have their own insurance, but
No,
who says, but is it Carrie here saying that all the vendors will have to have their own insurance?
yeah,
It's Carrie who's saying that.
yes,
But last year we had a bunch of art fair participants in PV Palooza who didn't have insurance, right?
we did.
Mhm.
And the event insurance that Sherry got for PV Palooza included the presence of art vendors. So
Mhm.
in a sense, I think I can go back and push back. And the other thing is for the entire PV Palooza, which includes serving alcohol, includes art fair exhibits, and includes rock and roll music playing. Hey, Ivy's back. Okay,
Hey,
Ivy,
so
while
I
you're
dial back. I dial back to make sure we have a quorum so we can vote on the minutes.
okay,
I was driving earlier and did not want to risk it.
okay, understood. So we're going to jump over, approve the minutes, and then come back to this discussion.
Okay.
So, there are 2 sets of meeting minutes that we need to approve. One set is here. This is for the last meeting.
Just check it out.
And so,
I move to approve the April 11 minutes as written.
I second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the April 11th minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Aye.
so we have unanimous approval with quorum for the minutes. And the other minutes, let me pull those up. I'm gonna have to pause my screen share and pull up the previous month's minutes. Where am I gonna get those? They are,
That's right. It's before the-
از اون زله ها بگیری که ستون آفرین کنی. I remember saying,
sorry, guys, bear with me just a second.
Do you need the date, John? Because I have it. It's on the agenda. It's March. Approval of minutes, March 21st.
Yes, okay, I've got it. I just pulled it up. So here's the minutes for March 21st here.
Mhm.
We did not have a quorum, but we, so in a sense, since we didn't have a quorum, there really aren't minutes to review. But this is what we discussed. It was a very abbreviated meeting. So
Do we have to approve it then, John?
I don't know, but I don't think it can hurt. So I would go ahead and approve them just to get that checked off the list.
Somebody approve it, I'll second it.
Okay, I approve it.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the the March 21st minutes, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, we have unanimous approval on that. Thank you very much. And,
John,
yep,
I'm gonna step into my 2:30 meeting. Is there anything else you need me for quorum?
no, I think that's great. Thanks a lot, Ivy.
No problem. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks,
bye.
Ivy.
Okay, so we got the meeting minutes approved. And I think what we're building up to is that, so like I said, we paid a few $100 using sort of a modern fintech online insurance provider. I think they're
Mhm.
called eventinsurance.com or something like that. And and I think we can get a much better number than $700 to insure. So you can see this is historical information from before my time. And back then they spent $700 on the holiday fair insurance. Plus publicity. And so what we're gonna do is, I mean, if that includes publicity, maybe that's not too bad. But we'll go ahead and get event insurance. It's very cheap. And we'll just put it in the on here. So I'm gonna just put in their placeholder for insurance of
Okay,
$300. There's no way it's gonna be more than that. And then, but we need to add publicity. So we'll
Mhm.
do 600, $600 all in. Boom. All right, so we'll get a holiday fair for $600 and we're gonna do it at the Windmill School. And we will press on it. And you know, unless there's something that I don't understand that Carrie is objecting to, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do this again.
yeah, I don't know either. Can you follow up and put me on it, the note, but will you email her and let her know that you're gonna check into your own insurance?
Yes, so let me ask you to do this, Wesley. If you could contact Sherry and find out the provider that she used to get insurance for PV Palooza, and then you can go online. It will only take you a few minutes and get a quote for the insurance. And you just put in there that you are a committee with the town of Portola Valley. You fill out the form in that regard. And it might be that you can't actually get the insurance because you might have to be someone with the town, in which case we'd have to ask the town to fill out their insurance, but you can get a quote,
Okay,
right? Just pretend and then don't actually pay for it. Just get the quote.
right.
And then we'll grab the quote. can email it to me and then we'll email that to Carrie and then, you know, it only costs $300 to do a bunch. If we do banners, it'll cost more than $300, but if we just do posters, it'll be like $300.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I can do that. I'll contact Sherry.
Okay, cool.
right.
I don't really know why we had this placeholder budget item of $750 for food and beverage for events other than this stuff. I'm gonna propose we set that to 0 and actually put the.
John, I'm sorry, it's there because when we host artists or when we have an author talk, or when we have like the poet laureate that was going to come and speak and so forth, Sue and I, and sometimes Mimi, we buy food, we buy wine, we buy water, non-alcoholic beverages. So that food budget has always been there for our events.
Okay, well, I'll leave it in there and see what happens.
And John Richards, when he used to be our liaison, he used to always say, raise those figures up because then you have the money. If you don't use it, that's fine, but you can't go back and ask for more once the town budget is set.
Got it. Okay.
Smart.
And then $700 for kids movie night. I guess that's mostly for the license.
Yes.
And so we'll leave that because apparently that's what we did in the past. Photo archive support materials. I have no idea what that is and why it's $800. Phil, do you have any sense for that?
Yes, that's Sue, Mimi, and my committee working with Nancy Lund and the town historian and so forth, working, wanting to get the photos and maybe framed and so forth and displayed.
Mm.
And that's what Sue was the chair of. So she could speak to it better than I.
Okay. And then I haven't heard anything about a kids photography exhibit. That hasn't been on the agenda for ages.
No, we didn't plan one for this year, John. Again, that was Sue and I.
Okay, so should we zero that one out and then you want to leave this one?
We could, but you could zero it out, but leave the column, please, because we'd like to do it the following year, perhaps.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's fine. So we can do 750 here.
Did we ever talk about getting the Martin Luther King celebration?
Oh, great point.
Because that might be something to add in while we're talking about budget.
Okay. So, and by the way, you have to leave in real soon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put in here MLK. What's the name of the event? I'll just put event.
Do we want to get John Silver involved in that?
Yeah, was the one who presented it.
Yeah, so I'll just put in here an amount of 250. So by the way, I know that John Silver is interested in becoming a member of the Cultural Arts Committee.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's interest in having him join.
I would say so.
Phil, any?
I think it's okay. He tends to conversationally dominate any room he's in.
I know, that's the thing that has
Oh.
me very, very, very concerned.
Our meetings will be 3 hours instead of 1.
No.
But he has a lot of good information. I'm trying to be positive here.
Got it. Okay.
And
Well,
he has a lot of knowledge as past mayor, and he's served the town well in many capacities.
mhm. Well, I suppose we could try it and ask him to be cautious. I don't know. What,
Yeah, we'll just put boundaries on the time limitation.
okay, let's, Wesley, if you could make a note of that for the next agenda, sorry. Mm, yeah, if for the next, agenda is to talk about ideas for other committee members. And you know, this meeting is being recorded, so anyone can view it, but you know, I think we're just being sure that we cover all the bases here. So let's see, in terms of the other items here, holiday fair insurance. Oh, that's interesting. Holiday fair. Oh, I see. What would be insurance and publicity, 700? Oh, I see. I reduced that to 600. So I guess we don't need this, right? Other than insurance and publicity, we don't need, so we can get rid of this line.
And for the holiday fair, I think we can charge like we're charging $30 a booth for artisans, which is I think very reasonable, but that will cover the rental fee of the windmill, you know?
Right.
So I don't think it'll be very expensive to have.
Right.
Anyway, I have to go.
All right. Thanks, Wesley.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Wesley.
Yeah, have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care.
John, I sent Wesley all the information from Cynthia, the insurance company, everything, what each booth cost and all of that, but I knew Wesley had to go. So I didn't want to, I wanted her to be able to get through what she needed to say and then go get her kids from school.
Yeah.
But I'll look for it. I'm sure I saved it.
Yeah,
But
that
it
was
said how much I think each vendor paid. I'll have to look at it again, and I'm mobile, so
So,
I'm not on my big computer where everything is saved.
okay, so Jerry, are you saying that the Priory required each vendor to have insurance?
No, but Cynthia gave me the name of who we used to insure the event. And I think she even listed the vendors and everything, and I got it all from Cynthia and sent it off to Jane, and I think I also had them exchange information. I think I CC'd Wesley so that she could be in touch with Cynthia. So she's a wealth of information. She ran that for years.
Okay. Because this number, oh, that's right, the $700 included also publicity. So the holiday insurance is, like, event insurance is really cheap. I don't see that as a reason to not do a holiday fair. So,
No, it was never a problem.
okay,
You're absolutely right.
okay. All right. So we covered the insurance agenda item. Sorry, the budget agenda item. Oops, this is the wrong May 9th. Okay, yeah. We covered this one. Updates, there really aren't any updates on summer concert series except that, oh, I was trying to get, remember how last year we had a single postcard that announced all of our summer music events? Well, because PV Palooza got split off, we had to send a separate postcard for that, and that went out. But for the summer concert series, the size of the mailing has to change, and and Carrie came back and she wants it to be like this shape. Last year it was, well, maybe this shape. She wants it to be, well, she doesn't want it. It's the post office, and I ran into the same problem when I got the PV Palooza cards printed. It's actually a requirement that EDDM be a large format print, but she is standardized on a very strange size. It's going to require me, unfortunately, to relay those out. And I don't know if I have artwork that fits that shape, which is going to make it a real pain. But anyway, I'll figure something out. But it's likely that I won't have time to deal with making postcards. And but I can make posters and I can make banners because I have all the elements needed to. So I think I'm just going to print posters and banners. We won't do postcards for the summer concert series. And we'll just use, PV forum communication. So that's that. Any more questions about, and so basically I'm gonna need somebody to go pick up those posters and banners from the printer, and Jerry, would you be able to?
I will do that. I know my way.
Okay, that's
And
right.
how much does each banner cost, John?
Oh, I think they are a couple $100 a piece, something like
Mhm,
that.
they do beautiful work.
Oh yeah, they are spectacular.
Mhm.
And do you
Yeah,
guys?
I'm happy to go down and pick up the posters and banners.
Okay. The banner is gonna look the same as last year. So. And then town table at PV Palooza. So this is just a follow-up. As you guys recall, we were gonna offer this up to Parks and Rec, and they're gonna do it. So I just wanted to follow up and say, yeah, Parks and Rec is gonna work with Nancy Lund to have a table at PV Palooza. Poet laureate and town authors. Any updates on this? I guess since Sue's not here, maybe we skip that, or
Well,
oh, that's right, she's sick.
the poet laureate is sick, and she said she needs about 6 months, and then she'd be happy to comply with our request and that of Mary Hefty, our town council member.
Okay, and Jerry, are you in front of a piece of paper?
I can be, yes. Let me see if I can dig for some glasses. What do you need me to do?
Oh, just because Wesley's gone now, she was taking notes at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay, all
Uh,
right, I can take some notes. We're on movie night, or do you want me to write about the poet laureate?
Just the poet laureate, just the poet
I'll
laureate,
just put delayed by 6 months.
yes. And then we're gonna skip. Oh, movie night's gonna now be in September. That's the update that Ivy had for us. And we already talked about the Christmas fair.
Yeah, I hope she has notes on that. All right, movie night. And I can take a picture of my notes and send them to her.
Looks like somebody,
Movie night is September. Do we have a date?
not yet,
Okay, date to be set.
yes. Somebody else is dialing in right now.
Maybe it's
Oh.
Ivy again.
It's Sue.
Oh, good.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue. It sounds like Sue might be muted, but maybe she can hear us. But I think we made it through all the agenda items. Is there anything else we need to go through? Well, yeah, I think we covered everything. So. Great. Well, let's make it a wrap then.
Okay,
All right. Kate?
adjournment time?
All
Yeah.
right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
What's the adjournment time?
Oh, I'm sorry. 5:49 PM. Thank you.
Can't be 5:49. It better not be.
Oh, well, sorry.
2:49. Yeah.
It's,
Where are
I'm,
you? You must be in New York.
I'm in Boston.
2:49 PM.
I'm in Boston. Sorry about that.
Okay,
I-
I'll
and I-
coordinate with Wesley about the minutes.
And I was on a red eye, so I have an excuse for being a little spacey.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
take care.
Thanks, John.